I would like to talk about some YouTube censorship, or at this point, heavy-handed behavior in regards to the Alex Jones channel. I'm going to have to explain a little bit of background as to what happened, just because some people might not know. Alex Jones has a movie called Endgame, and in that movie, of course, his voice is there, and his voice was used in a music video. Then that music video was copyrighted by the company that made the video, and then a robot on YouTube goes around and looks for that particular voice, and if it finds it, it can censor the videos or warn the sites that post them. So in other words, sites with Alex Jones's voice on there could potentially be censored by YouTube via their robot. So that's what happened. And his movie Endgame, the site that had that up, received some kind of warning. I don't know what it was. I saw it. Okay. And that warning was because it contained Alex Jones's voice. But, of course, it's Alex Jones's voice. It wasn't the music video company. Didn't own his voice. So, in other words, it was a mistake. Which YouTube, of course, they don't communicate with users. You can't if you get a warning from YouTube, you can't call them up, hey, you guys are doing something wrong to me. Why are you doing it? They won't talk to you. They won't nothing. That's how they operate. It's really quite wrong the way they operate in that manner without communicating these sorts of issues. I can understand on small sites they might not have time to communicate with everyone. It would be a significant business expense. But let's take a look at the Alex's official channel. He's got 226,808,596 video views. So you think they could communicate with him before they gave his whole channel a strike. And it sounds like they gave him a strike because he simply reported what happened, which is that the other channel had a problem because they had his video posted. Because he reported on that, his channel gets a strike. But of course, there's no communication. You'd think they would have a whole office at Alex Jones and a whole office at YouTube of people that would sit there and talk to each other, right? Due to the magnitude of what's going on. And so these sort of idiotic little things wouldn't happen. But I already know from my own experience, again, how YouTube operates. You just do little arbitrary things and you can't question it. They don't have due process, and that's wrong because they have in effect a monopoly due to the magnitude of the percentage of the users online that use them to post videos. So they should have, it's sort of like their moral obligation to have some kind of due process. But in any way, it does get into the issue of censorship in general, and Google's been criticized for that before. Let me just give you a little, just so you know I'm not making stuff up. This is Wikipedia. YouTube has been criticized for heavy-handed censorship. Okay, I'm not making it up, but some people are like, okay, so what? Whatever, whatever. Well, the reason why we don't want censorship is because authoritarian governments do terrible things. And the way we restrain authoritarian governments is through free speech. Okay, I mean, that's just like a little basic thing there. And when you have giant mega monopolies like Google that communicate with, the other social, whatever you call them, the other social channels, Facebook and Twitter and so forth, and they decide, well, we like this person, we don't like that person, and then they censor you. It could be quite heavy-handed, and it could be, could lead to a chilling of, something that we really value, which is free speech. And then that can lead to, and then we have what could be considered a quickening, because we have, this thing called globalism. And everybody somehow admits it. Yeah, we want to be globalism. We want to be a new world order. But if you come out and say, I don't think we should have one world government, then all of a sudden you're some kind of weirdo. So people have been simultaneously brainwashed to say, oh, you can't oppose it, and it's not true. It's not really happening. And then on the other hand, yes, it is true. It is happening, and it's good. People have both ideas in their head at the same time. It shows you the power of manipulation. In other words, it's something, yes, it's happening, and no, you can't criticize it. It's kind of strange. But it's quite dangerous, because as power centralizes, this is what most people don't understand also, as power centralizes, there's no constraints on it. There's no checks and balances. And that's the same reason for free speech, is that it's like a check and balance of bad behavior. But so if you imagine a one world government, dare I say, and then no checks and balances on speech, you end up in a really dangerous sort of mathematical, it's sort of like a physics, mathematical, entropic sort of idea. There's no constraint on it. They can do anything. And see, this is then what we have to understand is that governments have killed 260 million people in the last 100 years. And those were the good governments. Those people were good compared to the globalists, who are the most evil, demonic, Luciferian criminals the planet has ever known. In other words, the people that killed 260 million, those were like people, you would have thought they were good. They were like nice. Compared to the globalists now, I mean, those are the most criminal people we've ever seen, and they're gaining control of everything. And as they are able to engage in censorship, it will lead to a quickening, because no one can oppose what they're up to. And it's just hugely dangerous. It's amazingly dangerous, and we're right there. Right now, everything's like still relatively, seemingly free, and we're still going along. But we're right on that little, there's like, you know how black holes have an event horizon? You go within the event horizon, you cannot get back out. It's just like, that's how all these regimes, communist regimes, operate in that way. Once you go beyond a certain point, you can no longer return to freedom. But all the other communist regimes, they've never been a one world regime. There's always been someone on the outside that can oppose what they're up to. Communist China, they couldn't kill all their population right now because there's people on the outside that would then put them on trial. But when we go to a one world system, there's no one on the outside. There's nothing anymore. I don't believe God is going to intervene and save us, because we're going to be guilty of allowing it to happen to ourselves. Because it's not that many globalists. There's not that many. Yes, there's lots of the socialists on the bottom, but that's what I mean. But in the end, it's not going to be that many people that destroy us. But it will be blamed on the masses of population that either stuck their heads in the sand or that favored it every step of the way, not realizing what was going to happen. So it's time to wake up.